Revenge films.
My name is Sarah, and I'm currently 24 years old. My married name is Smith, and my maiden name is Matthews. I'm an author of fantasy books. I've been lucky enough to publish several bestsellers, and things are going well for me. I'm currently working on a popular series as well. Every time I publish a new book, I go on a book tour with a publisher. Today, I'm taking part in a book signing event at a bookstore located inside a department store. After meeting with fans for several hours, it was time for me to take a break. I went to the waiting room where a janitor was cleaning the room. I was shocked when I saw the face of the janitor.
I'm almost finished here. I'm sorry for the wait.
Miss Natalie?
Oh, no. You must have mistaken me for a different person.
I need you to finish up here and clean the next room to this one. A younger janitor came into the room and asked the other woman to hurry up. I was certain that woman cleaning my room was my teacher from elementary school, Miss Natalie. Miss Natalie was famous for being a very strict teacher, but most of the other teachers and parents liked that she was enthusiastic about teaching her students with such high standards. As for me, I was a bit strange when I was in elementary school, and instead of hanging out with my classmates, I had an imaginary friend named Cook. Cook was a teddy bear, and I was the only one that could see him.
What do you want to do today? Let's draw a picture together. Okay, sounds good. I love you, Cook. You're my best friend.
My mother was worried about me because I would talk to my imaginary friend Cook at home, too, and draw pictures of him. She took me to the hospital one day to have me checked. The doctor told her that I had an imaginary friend because I was shy, and that I had created Cook in my imagination. He told her that I would grow out of my imaginary friend as I got older. My mother was relieved to hear that. One day, Miss Natalie was teaching a class, and she asked all her students to write an essay about a friend. Of course, I decided to write about my imaginary friend Cook. But Miss Natalie didn't believe in imaginary friends, and she thought that I was slacking off by writing about a fictional character.
Sarah, I need you to write about a real friend, not an imaginary one. But to me, Cook is real. I talk to him every day and he's my best friend. Why can't I write about him? Okay, then let's ask your classmates if they could see Cook as well. First, please read your essay out loud in front of the class. Okay.
I read my essay as Miss Natalie had asked me to. As a result, the entire class started to laugh at me.
Can you see that your classmates are laughing? They don't believe in your imaginary friend, Cook. Ouch!
Miss Natalie pulled on my ear hard and shouted into it.
Can you hear me?
She shouted that phrase into my ear over and over again. She pulled on my ear so hard that it started to bleed. Miss Natalie finally let go of my ear, but she was irritated that her classroom was now in a stir after seeing what happened to me. She yanked my essay out of my hand and slammed it down hard on my desk. The other students became quiet after they realized that Miss Natalie was in a bad mood. In that moment, we were all scared of her. Then she began shouting again.
Sarah, I need you to rewrite your essay. This time, write about a real friend, not an imaginary one.
She then ripped my essay into pieces.
Why did you have to do that? I spent a lot of time on my essay. No one wants to know about your imaginary friend, Cook. He doesn't exist. I want you to write something that's real, not fake. Do you understand?
But,
If you understood me, I want you to say yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I taped my essay back together and went home. I decided to stop by a nearby park and reread my essay. I was upset that my teacher had said that my best friend Cook was fake and that he didn't really exist. I was sad to think that I had to rewrite my essay about someone else when I wanted to write about Cook. One of my classmates, Ken, happened to come to the park and he started talking to me. Ken was with his father and they were on their way home. Hi, Sarah. Is your friend Cook with you at the park now?
Yes, he is.
That's cool. I wish I could see him too. Dad, Sarah here has an imaginary friend named Cook. Isn't that so cool?
Yes, it is. What's that you have there, Sarah?
Sarah wrote an essay about her imaginary friend Cook in class today, but her teacher got really mad at her. Miss Natalie then ripped Sarah's essay into pieces.
May I take a look, Sarah?
Ken's father was kind, and he read my essay about Cook with a smile.
I love the way that you describe your friendship with Cook. I don't understand why your teacher didn't like it.
Yeah, me too. I thought that your story was really funny and interesting. Will you introduce me to Cook? I was surprised that they didn't think that I was weird for having an imaginary friend. I was used to getting treated like a crazy person whenever I told someone about Cook. I was happy that someone believed me, and I began to cry out of relief. In tears, I told Ken's father about what happened at school with Miss Natalie.
Would it be alright if I had a word with Miss Natalie about this? I don't think that the way that she treated you today was fair at all.
I was touched that Ken's father cared enough to have a talk with Miss Natalie for me. I nodded and gave my essay to Ken's father. After I got home, I began to work on my new essay. But Cook was my only friend, so I didn't know who else to write about. I finally gave up and decided not to submit a new essay. A few days later, a writing contest award ceremony was held at school. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that I was the winner. I had received a gold award, which was given to the best essay written at school. It turned out that Ken's father was also a teacher at the school that I went to. That is why I bumped into him and Ken after school at the park the other day. After reading my essay and liking what I wrote, Ken's father submitted my essay to the writing contest. The person who was the most surprised about this was Miss Natalie.
Congratulations, Sarah!
Thank you so much. Mr. Matthews, what are you thinking, submitting Sarah's essay without my permission?
Actually, I'd like to ask you what you were thinking when you punished Sarah for writing this wonderful essay. How could you discourage her by ripping her essay into pieces in front of the whole class?
I know it seems harsh, but a child needs to learn what is acceptable and what is not at an early age.
Well, Sarah certainly didn't do anything wrong by writing this essay. You had no reason to punish her like that. I'm going to inform the school board about what you did to Sarah.
Sure, go ahead, but you made the wrong choice by submitting Sarah's essay to the contest. Don't encourage her to write such nonsense.
Miss Natalie tried to take my essay away from me, so I tried desperately to stop her. She was enraged by this and tried to yank the essay out of my hands.
Miss Natalie, stop that! You're hurting Sarah! Who said that?
The other students started to take my side as well. They told Miss Natalie that she was being cruel and should stop bullying me. Soon everyone at the assembly hall started telling Miss Natalie off.
Be quiet! You're all being very disrespectful.
Miss Natalie, your behavior is unacceptable. You better watch your back.
After that, the school board investigated what was going on in Miss Natalie's classroom. The investigator asked all the students if they enjoyed Miss Natalie's class and whether they wanted her to continue being a teacher. To the investigator's surprise, all the students answered that they did not enjoy her class and did not want her as their teacher.
This doesn't make any sense. I was only doing what I thought was best for my students.
Because of this, the school suspended Miss Natalie and she was put on leave. Miss Natalie was shocked because she didn't expect anything like this to happen to her. She was too proud to come back to school even after her suspension, and she ended up resigning. After I received the gold award at the writing contest, I regained my confidence and I was able to make some new friends. Ken and I became good friends, and school life without Miss Natalie became a happy one. As I made friends at school, I didn't have much time to play with Cook anymore. Before I knew it, he had disappeared from my life, and I was pretty upset about this. I looked for him everywhere, but he was nowhere to be seen. Why don't you write a story about your friendship with Cook? I know how much you miss him, and I'd like to know about him too.
But Cook is no longer in my life.
You could still write about the fun memories that you have with him from before. I took Ken's advice and started to write about the fun things that I did with Cook. When I became an adult, I turned my stories about Cook into a book. As it turned out, Ken got a job at a publishing company, and so he was more than happy to publish my book for me.
I'm the biggest fan of your books!
Because he believed in me, I became a successful author, and I'm very grateful to him for that.
Sarah, it's time for you to go back out there. Hold on, is that Miss Natalie?
Why, hello. Sarah, it's been a long time, but I never forgot about you. I see that your last name's changed now that you're a very popular author.
Yeah, we got married a few years ago.
I see, that makes sense. I'm glad that you're both doing well.
I published some books about my imaginary friend, Cook, and they've been a real hit.
I see. You wrote about him when you were in my class.
I did. He was a very special friend to me. He supported me when I needed him. We had many adventures together, and my books are about the fabulous memories I have with him.
I'm sorry for the way I reacted when I was your teacher. I see how wrong that I was now. I hope you can forgive me.
I could tell that this was a sincere apology because Miss Natalie started to cry after that. I'm sure that Cook appreciates Miss Natalie's apology as well. I couldn't have gotten through school without Cook and Ken. I know that the support of my loved ones is what got me here today.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.